Welcome back to another exciting edition of Pumpkin Valley. This is from May 11th, 2022. We are rolling into lap two. Got some rear camera action for you. Tried to edit it down so it's not a 47-minute video. Pretty much all together, rolling into the second lap here. Got ride bike Stephen Pimentel on my wheel, complete with handlebar bag for now, and Ryan Kaler. So I took a little dig here coming into the start-finish line, starting the second lap, and Ryan and Steven went with me, so got a little separation, and we just heard 4 laps to go. So we kind of carry this, so you can see them back there. We're not way up the road, but I race on these now without teammates, so I encourage all the other Velo Kings teammates of mine to attack me, counterattack me, etc. So I get a better workout that way, definitely, and they get to attack me and team up on me and gang up, and just kind of levels the playing field a little bit. Um, Ride bikes, arguably the strongest team, probably, is the strongest team. They're an elite P1-2 team, domestic elite team. Steven here in the camera view, just race Redlands, getting ready to go do Joe Martin stage race, and just a super super strong guy. And Nick, who is the sprinter with ride bikes, he's back there, and so I don't remember if this gets chased down or not. This is early in there. This is like 4.8 miles, and you can see in the bottom there. I kind of put that distance there for reference. I think the entire race is right at 20 miles, maybe 19.8, something like that. So when I jump around to the clips, you can see kind of how much distance has elapsed from clip to clip. But we're going up the hill now here, and usually it's sheltered from the wind right here, but it's pretty much right to left crosswind when we come up here. I think it's like a 3.8 miles per lap here at Pumpkin Valley. 4% grade, you can see there in the left, and you can see someone's on the front trying to stitch this back up to the main field. I think we shed a few riders maybe already. It was not a huge group for this week's edition, but some strong wheels in there anyway. So I think we'll get a little glimpse here of who brings it back. But yeah, there's Ryan, Team California. Team California Juniors. He's getting ready to head off to Europe, I think later this month or next month, to do some pretty awesome racing with that team. So good luck to you, Ryan. And he's riding really strong too, so he's really coming on form, which is fun to see. Yeah, and there you can see that looks like newly minted Velo King Mitchell Neal on the front there, bringing it back. He's a elite Cat 4 in his 20s. Has a running background. I think we found him on a Saturday ride up the foothills. He was riding like his dad's, 30-year-old downshifter tube bike, and brought him on the team. Teammate loaned him a newer bike. He was able to source a bike, and he's going to be good. So he came out to Pumpkin Valley last week for his first time. Had a great time. This is a good opportunity to kind of simulate race situations, to help to sharpen, kind of your racing IQ, especially if you're new to racing. You think it's about being the strongest, but the smartest beats the strongest pretty much every time. So I'm still learning. I'm not the strongest, and I'm not the smartest, but trying to improve on both fronts. So we're kind of back together now here. I think we just roll this one, kind of see who's made the selection. So you've got Steven, Ryan, there's Nick, um, Mitchell. I don't know who this dude is. And then there's George, aka Smooth Peddler, um, wind space rep, rocking the bike and the hyper wheels. He's also your Lactico man. So um, yeah, George is awesome. Love when George comes out. Last week he made the selection, and then he hung a left turn here and went home on like the third lap. So I kind of boxed him in so he would be able to leave us. But I think I kind of joked with him like, you can't leave this week. You're in the break. And so we're rolling across the top here. Um, Still in the second lap of 5 laps of racing. Getting ready to set up for the downhill. And, this is tempting, this downhill. You feel like you can really attack and get away, but it's pretty easy to sit on the wheel on this downhill, even if you're pedaling hard. Um, it's tempting. Sometimes you want to try to take a flyer here. Um, so the wind's now shifter going the other way, and so it's kind of left to right. So if you're going to gutter people, you would hold the right shoulder. Um, but we're all just kind of rolling down, letting the deck reshuffle a little bit. Um, Still at what, -2%, 3% grade in this downhill. I think if someone throws an attack in right here. I think Ryan attacks, and I think George kind of covers it, but opens up a gap. And so I kind of close it down, but then I just come over the top. I'm like, you want to attack? I'll show you an attack. So maybe it was Nick. Um, but now I'm just dangling off the front. So just, playing games on bikes. That's all we're doing right now. So that wasn't, and then I just kind of dial it back and let them all back on. Um, I don't want to try to do a solo breakaway for, 3 laps and change. That's 2.5 laps, whatever we're on. We're coming up to the third lap. Um, and so that was that. Coming around the front side. This is a little bit of crosswind. It turns into a tailwind on that finishing sprint, start finish. So let's jump ahead here now. This is Steven getting ready to ditch that handlebar bag. So he's getting ready to play bikes for realsies now. So we got a 3-man break going right now. So this is now the final selection. And dropped a bar bag heading into lap 4. But we dropped a bar bag, but we picked up an Ilias right here. So this is teammate Ilias. I think all of his Velo Kings kits are pristine condition. I don't think he's pinned a number on this year. Work-life balance, all that stuff. Bought a house, doing other stuff, crashed his bike, got it repainted. So this might be his first Pumpkin Valley on the SL6 with the custom paint job. Because he had to do a little minor carbon repair. I don't know that he crashed. I think he claimed he dropped a chain. So we're like, yeah, let's tow Elias around in the break. It'll be fine. He could hang on. And so he had sat out whatever a lap and jumped back on when we came through this time. So we were okay with him rotating through. It's fine. Just pull through, pull off. Don't let a gap open up in front of you if you can. And I'll take us here up the climb. One more lap to go. Once we come through the start finish, we'll see bell lap. But this is the climb on the fourth lap here. You can kind of see Steven's teammate Nick is kind of trying to chase. George kind of fell back to him, and I think Nick's trying to bring it all back together. And I thought maybe Steven, like he's looking back, he's doing some hand signals, waving his arm around, um, telling, So I thought on this lap, like I'm gonna go a little bit harder just to keep the break established. I don't want their sprinter to make it across, and so now Steven could then lead out Nick. I got a better chance of beating Steven, um, you know, in a breakaway than I do um, trying to beat Nick in a field sprint. I don't think it's ever happened in my life. Maybe it will someday, but odds aren't very good. So we stayed away. This is bell lap coming through. I think Steven's still kind of. I think he was looking. He thought he tried to claim he had a flat tire. I don't know if it was to skip a pole or two, but we're like, dude. So you kind of see him hopping around a little bit. I think we say, looks okay. I've had that though, where sometimes something feels kind of funky and you think you might be getting a flat. You definitely wouldn't want to go through that hairpin with a flat because you're wash out. But I told him to hop right here, and it was okay. So we said, "You're good." So Steven kind of peeking back again. I think he looked back, and I don't think we saw Nick chasing any longer. So interesting to see how the torture here on Bell Lap unfolds. I feel like I get attacked here. Here it comes. It's almost like they orchestrated, like they were looking back at each other and say, "Go now." And you can see the shadow. They put a pretty big gap on me, and so I'm kind of digging pretty good. Ultimately, I get back on their wheel. And I'm definitely trying to get some echelon draft there. That's why I'm kind of more closer to the edge of the bike lane, traffic lane. And so I come around Ryan. I think I come around Steven too. And my thought was, if I can sit in the front, maybe, and just hold tempo, they won't attack, and just let it come down to a three-way sprint. But I don't think it quite worked out that way. So I think I do kind of take the first pole here, though. And I think eventually Steven tries to lead us through some 30-30 sprint exercises here in a minute. It felt a little bit like he's peeking back again. There, look at that. Look at that. See what you miss when you're looking forward, but the rear camera catches everything. So, he's, I think, going to play games and saying, "Hey, Nick, come on up. I'm going to wear these guys down, and you'll be fresh for the sprint." So, here come the games. I think I forced Ryan to pull through here. I'm like, I don't want to sit second wheel. And so he does, and the little gap opens up, and so Steven goes. Ryan's fortunately able to hold the wheel and not open up the gap, because that was a pretty good little dig right there. I started this race with about 60 miles in. I did I did a long ride and I also did 5 by 6 minute threshold intervals before this ride. So, I mean, by the end of this thing, I think when I hit the finish line, I was at 80 miles on the day. You know, by the time I got home, I was like at 90. So it was a full workout. Here's another one. Here he goes again. Another. Those are more like 15 15s. They're not like, 30 seconds, and they're definitely not 30 seconds of recovery between those two. But fortunately, Ryan's able to hold Steven's wheel, and I'm able to hold Ryan's wheel. And so I think at this point, I just pull through, and I think I'll hold tempo, 250 watts or something, um, maybe even less than that. Yeah, here we go. So we're at the bottom of the hill. Ryan yells, "They're coming!" Because we're kind of playing cat and mouse now. So I'm like, all right. And Steve is just grinning, like no pain at all. So I figure I'll just lead these guys out and keep the sprinter from making his way across. And so I kind of did this pretty strong lead out, pretty far out. Um, Kind of a little headwind through here. This is a hard effort. And then we came around some people riding, so I swung real left on the turn. I said, let's go wide of these guys so we don't sprint through the people doing their leisurely sunset bike ride. I think as we come around then, yeah, so I'm clear wide here so we can sprint clean. And right as I start to kind of go, fortunately they go so I can sit back down. Here's what it looked like from the finish line. This is Guillermo's footage. There's Ryan coming around Steven, little flex. There's me with a little thumbs up, little Guillermo saying Mark Tucker. And then listen, I think that was Sawyer calling Nick Baird fatty. So I think there's some recourse to be had there. But um, anyway, this is what it looked like, rolling across the finish line. So another fun and exciting edition of Pumpkin Valley. Promise I will have batteries fully charged front and rear camera. No Pumpkin Valley next week. We'll be doing the Rite of Silence. Check out our Instagram page for details on that. But we'll be back out here the following week, I think May 25th.
I'm glad you ditched your car bag.
Dude,
That last lap.
I was like, I need all the help I
Yeah.
can. It's hurting so bad. Nice job.
Hey, thanks.
Well done. Well done.
Good times. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment. I will be putting kilometers per hour at request along with the data for the next ones. Bye now.